let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top right hand corner of our ByuN, we have our South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Again, two amazing players facing off here in the quarterfinals. And I'm secretly cheering for ByuN here. But the reason for that is just so we can avoid the non-stop PvPs. I mentioned before, but we have two Terran players left in the tournament. We have ByuN and Gumiho, and I'm hoping that we can avoid the pure PvP semifinals. I'm hoping for it, but we'll see. My hopes, they could just be in vain. Could just be in vain here. As we do see ByuN once again opening up double gas. It's going to be a double gas open under ByuN. This will be leading into a faster factory, into a delayed CC. We saw that in the previous game, this led into a 1-1-1 tank Banshee push. And we'll see what happens here on our ByuN. Now, what I will say about this map is it is a lot larger. It is a lot larger, rush distance a little bit longer, more defendable as well, especially on 3 bases. So what I'm getting at is these more aggressive builds, I feel like are going to be a little bit less successful on a larger map like this. So I imagine ByuN is going to be going for a bit of a different approach. Meanwhile, that pro being a menace. Oh, he wants the SCV. He wants it, but he will not get it. The RNG going well there for ByuN. Whew, does tuck that SCV away, and it will be safe. It will be safe and sound. The probe does confirm the double gas opener. Oh, he wants the SCV. MaxPax, he wants it. Oh, he wants it so far. Is going to be denied. Probe is forced to be zoned away. Coming back in. Oh, gets another shot off, but the last probe will go down. That is going to be a kill, not a recall on the worker. And the factory is on the way. Now from here we should be expanding. We should be taking our natural. But whether we go into, once again, a 1-1-1 into Banshee, or even into a Widowmine drop, into Cyclones, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on ByuN. See what he does embrace. Meanwhile, MaxPax going for a Stargate opener. Okay, now this does make sense. We do often see Stargate openers on larger maps, like ByuN, like Site Delta is another big one, where players are more prone to opening up Stargates, just because Protoss players have a little bit more freedom. They have a little bit more wiggle room on these larger maps. Amphion is another one as well, where you can embrace Phoenixes and not be punished for it. Or the likelihood of being punished for it is a little bit lower. Meanwhile, the Adept, takes down the first Hellion. Not bad. Hellion goes down. Behind this, we are indeed getting to the Widowmine. Now, this could just be a singular Widowmine for a bit of a kitchen sink drop, where we can move out with Marines and Widowmines, or we could go into a second Widowmine as well. Well, yeah, it's just going to be the one. So just the one Widowmine, Marines, Cyclone. Medevac should be on the way as well, and we should be moving out with our initial kind of amalgamation of an army. A bit of everything. Meanwhile, Reapers, they get across the map, they get one probe kill. One probe so far. Reaper does confirm the Phoenix, does confirm the Stargate opener. So nicely done here at a ByuN. With this revelation, we should be, we could go one of two ways. We could go into a Viking after the Banshee, after the Medevac. My mind is still in the last series. But we can go, of course, into our Viking, into a more defensive setup, or we could just commit. And for now, it looks like we are rallying across the map. Okay. We are rallying out. Widowmine shot getting baited out. Well, it looks like we have the Widowmine shot off on the Phoenix. Meanwhile, loving the positioning here from ByuN. He does save the Widowmine. And nice shuffling of the Marines as well. We do hold on. To at least the Zanaga, slowly pushing forward. Behind this, Robo's on the way. This is the beginning of Phoenix Colossus from the side of MaxPax. Kind of a more stock standard army composition. You see ByuN rotating around. And we do attempt to catch in depth, but last we do get within range of the shield battery. Yeah, MaxPax does hold, does preserve his units. Even going for a safety immortal. Respecting the army, the aggression of ByuN. Making sure he's safe and sound. And ByuN backs off, getting a CC on location. Bit of a greedy move here out of ByuN, but it does make sense. ByuN has map control, so he feels like he's safe enough to expand. little bit more aggressively. Again, just a little bit more greedily. ByuN still poking in. There's the Bay on the way. Again, getting ready for Colossus production. MaxPax moving out across the map. That does mean he's that much more vulnerable. The Phoenixes are not at home to support. And we get the lock-ons. Widowmine does go down. The Phoenixes at the same time diving into the natural base and not much in position to defend. Yeah, the army's out of position. Workers are going down. Ooh, but we do bleed off a Phoenix. Still 4 SCVs. Not a bad trade. Not a bad trade. Likewise, oh, we force a cancel. ByuN was here just in time. Not enough progression on the base. Not enough HP. The base does fall. So a bit of a give and take here. And we're going for the Immortal. But we have an overcharge. Likewise, so we get on top of the shield battery. Shield battery goes down. There's no backup shield battery, no overcharge. Once again, the goal here is just to contain the Protoss. But MaxPax takes the linear third. The linear base even. Does expand elsewhere. ByuN has not checked. He's unaware. He keeps rechecking this triangular third base. Pushing forward. Catching out the Stalkers. Remember, they don't have Blink. Uh-oh. Shields are triggered. Tank siege is up. And we're pushing in. Shield battery not done yet. And we focus on the first Immortal. Colossus still on the way. We deny the shield battery, but it looks like we have enough time. It looks like the Colossus is going to pop out. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. ByuN still pushing forward. Again, ByuN could try to rotate over towards the third and deny, but no, he's going for the kill instead. But the Colossus has made it. Yeah, we lift the tank and we will shut this down. MaxPax, he breaks out. He breaks free. And sure, his third base was delayed and we bled out some units, but we have a third. That's what matters right now. MaxPax has expanded and ByuN is in the dark. ByuN may think he's further ahead than he is. We shall see as we bleed out more Marines. Back at home, ByuN setting up. We have our tank line. We have our reinforcements. Ooh, big tank volley's going to be going off, and MaxPax, he commits. And boys are being pulled. We lift up every single tank. And the tanks are lifted. But it looks like there is not enough of a gateway army. Whew. We barely do hold. It cost us 10 SCVs, but the tanks survived. The tanks did survive. MaxPax has to back off. Colossus almost went down. Again, a very tense fight there. Very tense moment. MaxPax pulling back. At the same time, we're running out of Phoenixes. We are down to... yeah, down to 3 Phoenixes. We lost 6. So many of them were focused down there earlier in that fight. ByuN catching the Phoenixes! Oh my god! We get 1! We do catch a Phoenix. And we barely have any left. That does mean that ByuN now has access to drop play. Now he can be more active. He can go for drops, go for medevacs. But now is focused on Viking production. But there we go. Medevacs are the follow-up. There's that much left. There's that much less to stop him. As ByuN is vying for map control. Oh, that is 3 Colossus though. ByuN scans. If he rotates towards the right-hand side, he still may not be fully aware where the base has been taken. But now he should. Now he should have an idea. So ByuN is still rallying forward. Medevacs are on the way. Once they arrive, we could try to go for a drop. As MaxPax is taking the 4th. And now ByuN will pull back. Ooh, hey, we can take a moment here to breathe. Take a moment. MaxPax settling into his 4 Colossus setup. Oh my god, the quadruple Colossus. Calm down. We should be soon diversifying our splash damage, working towards disruptors or Storm. Temple Archives on the way. It's going to be to gain access to Storm and Archon production. Main army is spotted, and we're going for a Zealot run-by. We do have some reinforcements. ByuN has some reinforcements back at home. First tank going to be going down. Yeah, big pickup. ByuN has to retreat. MaxPax is on 4 bases. Zealot run-by is still poised to go in. I say that. charge isn't done. So we might just be waiting here for charge to kick in before the Zealots go for it. Until then, ByuN also getting a 4th CC. Ghost Academy's on the way. +1 ship weapons. Again, we're going for a longer game. This is what we spoke about at the start of the game on Alkyone about how large the map is. It is conducive to longer macro games, so a split map scenario, 4, 5 bases. We don't often get to see it, but we are embracing a much more longer macro TvP. Phoenix Cannon has been rebuilt, so once again we can have control of the skies. ByuN for now just parked at the Zelnaga. And MaxPax going for a split push. We have Zealots on the left, we have a drop on the right, also of Zealots. But the Vikings, they do fan out, and they're hunting for that Prism. MaxPax does split the Vikings with the Zealot. MaxPax is aware, so we have to be careful. As he does keep the Prism back. Basically, if ByuN ever pushes, if ByuN ever threatens one of these bases, that's going to be the trigger point. That's going to be the trigger for MaxPax to go in with the run-bys. With the Zealot run-by and for the drop. So MaxPax is ready to punish. I say that, ooh, the Zealot run-by is a bit premature. Yeah, we're going to clean this up. We get 2 SCVs, maybe 3. Oh, 5. It's an okay trade. 5 SCVs. It's okay. Do you have a backup? A Zealot run-by is spotted by the scan. ByuN is aware. Yeah, and ByuN does respond. At the same time, Prism, no! Runs into the Vikings. Ay, ay, ay. The Prism gets shut down. We do get 12 SCVs, though, and at the same time, we collapse on the main army. Yeah, the tanks are shut down. Massive catch. Now, all 3 tanks, all 4 tanks even, should be falling. But the Colossus are on their own. Uh-oh. Yeah, not enough support. Big tank volleys going off. We get 1 Colossus. We get a 2nd Colossus as well. And MaxPax, he's the one that overextends, even bleeding out a Disruptor. Even bleeding out the... There we go. no shot! The Disruptor somehow survives. Don't be suspicious, Bobby. And yo, we can come in from behind. The Disruptor lying in wait. First never goes off. So the second, ooh, grazing the army. The Disruptor is going to be caught out. Yeah, Nova won't quite connect. And ByuN sims on the 40, catches the Colossus, catches the Disruptors as well. And it looks like ByuN has done it. ByuN has broken to the 3rd base of MaxPax. Just doesn't have enough to keep up with this. He pulled himself apart. ByuN will break his way through, ignores the 3rd base, goes straight for the natural instead. We're camping the production, camping the robo. We took down 1 earlier and now the 2nd. And from here, it's just an uphill battle for MaxPax. He's down an army. He has an economy to work with, but he needs time. He needs time to recover, to rebuild. And ByuN shouldn't be giving him that time. As we're reinforcing even with Liberators. Yeah, the liberation is here. We have freedom, Bobby. The freedom has arrived. And MaxPax just cannot engage, cannot push into this. We'll try to, but the base itself will fall. From here, ByuN can head on over towards the 5th. Or even just keep on pushing with those Liberators. We have options. Why not both? We're getting lost, Bobby. We hit the 5th base, and we push in towards the natural. To maintain ourselves. As MaxPax goes for the dive, GG gets called, and ByuN will take game number 1 and a lead in this series. GG. Whew. Again, a very, very tense moment. I mean, both players were able to build up. Both players were looking good in their own way. And MaxPax was the first to pull the trigger. If you remember, I was waiting for the moment for ByuN to push in, and then we would see MaxPax go for his 2 counterattacks. Instead, MaxPax go for the 2 counterattacks. Instead, it looks like MaxPax he used the counterattacks to distract ByuN, and he tried to catch the main army. If you remember, MaxPax, he collapsed on the Zelnaga, on those tanks, and even I assumed he had enough, right? Even I assumed that we would reset the tank count and clean up the main army. But it looks like MaxPax did miscalculate. He did not have enough of a gateway buffer for his Colossus. So when he pushed in towards Zelnaga, again, his gateway army just melted the what little he had, and he didn't have enough to reinforce. His Colossus were exposed, and surprisingly, ByuN caught MaxPax off guard, and ByuN took the fight in the center and just snowballed from there. We just snowballed into a win from there. It looks like MaxPax didn't expect to see that much to support the tanks. He was maybe expecting them to be more exposed than they really were. And with that, one small slip up, one small mistake can cost you the game at this level of play. And we'll see if we can bounce back. We'll see if we can bring this all the way to an ace match, as spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Sidestorm Gaming. Down in the series, looking to bounce back, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Go. Hello, Mr. SCV. Where are we going? As ByuN does skirt around the edge of the map here, does avoid the main probe scouts. With this, we can go for, I imagine, an engineering bay block. We can go for a block here at the natural and delay the expansion and maybe even force the unnatural natural. We could force MaxPax to expand at the third base location instead. There's the eBay. Again, if the eBay has too much progression, if by the time MaxPax comes down, if it's almost done, then MaxPax will be forced to expand elsewhere, and that could trigger ByuN to go for an all-in. To go for like a one base all-in and try to punish MaxPax and kill him before we can really get going. Yeah, as MaxPax now checks, the eBay is almost done and we have to expand elsewhere. So we do indeed force the unnatural natural here out of MaxPax. A bit of a ZVP moment. And the scary thing here is that now MaxPax has to defend these two bases, and they're spread out, right? We don't really have kind of like a central location that we can defend to defend both locations. Like we are spread thin. And that's why ByuN has the option to be aggressive. Ooh, okay. So we've seen Clem in this position. Clem, he is more than happy to throw down a factory. You just throw down a factory, start up cyclone production, and just send it, papi. But ByuN expands. ByuN doesn't go for the factory. Interesting. So ByuN does he forces an inefficient opener out of his opponents, but ByuN is not being aggressive. He's calming down. He's expanding, and we're going for a second Rax. Interesting. Okay. This looks like a 3 Rax. This looks like, show us a third Rax. What do you have for us? What do you got? Do we throw down the Rax? Yeah, there we go. We have a third Rax as well, so it's going to be a 3 Rax follow-up. So initially, it's economic, but ByuN is building up towards a stim timing. This is going to be a very potent, very powerful stim timing here out of ByuN. We're going to be building up a bio army. Now, ByuN, I'm sure, is hoping for a Stargate. Because the two bases are spread out, usually in this kind of scenario, the Protoss player will open up Stargate to go for Oracles and Phoenixes to be able to, you know, avoid the terrain and defend both locations at once, or both locations a little bit easier. And if it was a Stargate opener, 3 Raxes, they do so well. They just roll over Stargate openers, because Phoenixes, they don't do well at all against a mass Marine army. But, as I say that, MaxPax is opening up Blink, not Stargate, so this is a little bit more ideal for the Protoss. When it comes to the builds, when it comes to the openers of choice, I do like MaxPax's position. Very safe, very sound with Blink. And because he's opening up Blink, the goal here is to be active with our Stalkers. Oh, as Adept say, shade into the main! MaxPax is going to see everything. He does confirm every single Rax. Ay, ay, ay. We got 3 SCV kills, and we scout the main. And we could even get another. The trades have been solid. And immediately we throw down more gateways. More gateways are on the way. Now, the goal here for MaxPax is to warp in Stalkers and to be active on the map. Ideally, you want to force out the stim, right? Like, this stim timing is crucial, but also you have to be very careful with it because there are no medevacs. Because there are no medevacs, every stim is going to be killing and hurting the army that much more. And ideally, you want the Stalkers to be active to kind of bait out stims, to chip away at the army, and to slow it down as it moves out across the map. Because MaxPax scouted, he knows his goal. He knows what he has to do. He's already here. He's here with the Stalkers. Blink is about to finish. And ByuN may just have to go for a later timing. Like, at this point, it might just be a lost cause. We are already opening up with Marauder production. So this tells us that ByuN is aware of the Stalkers, is aware of Blink. So we're opening up with a heavier Marauder count instead. And we should be working towards Concussive Shell as well. Like, the way to shut down these Stalkers with this kind of build is to invest into Concussive Shell, into Marauders, to be able to counteract the blinks of the Protoss opponent. And there we go, immediately Concussive Shell is on the way. So, we're going to be stuck at home until Concussive Shell finishes, and then ByuN can push out. And then we can kind of have some counter micro against the Blink Stalkers. Meanwhile, MaxPax gets high ground vision, expands, takes a third base. Is taking a third. ByuN stim is done in 10 seconds. And we'll be bleeding out Marines. Yeah, so far so good. MaxPax does kind of well. We pull the, oh my god, we just pull the boys. We send it, Pappy. The Observer sees everything. ByuN was hoping to keep that hidden, but alas, MaxPax is aware, and one way or another, the game is about to end. We're sending it, Pappy. The boys, they're here. MaxPax back at home, 3 shield batteries. You throw down a wall of shield batteries. MaxPax does intercept. Gets a Marauder. Nice target firing. 1 Marauder goes down. Every Marauder does count. Shield batteries are finishing up just in time. We have the overcharge. There we go. Overcharge is popped. We're still on forward. We try to focus on whatever we can. Boys are also being pulled. The probes. Do you focus on the Immortal? We are bleeding off units though. Yeah, SCVs, we are running out, and it looks like MaxPax is holding. MaxPax, he shuts this down again. He scattered everything. He confirmed the all-in, confirmed the boy pool. Marauders are holding their own. We stim in once again. Oh! Overcharge is no longer available. MaxPax, he blinks away. He knows time is on his side. He just has to buy some more time. More boys being pulled. We catch the Immortal, but we're running out of Marauders. Yeah, we're running out of steam, running out of units. Barely any army left here for ByuN. And he's being shut down. We're down to 3 Marauders, down to 2, down to 1, down to 0. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take the series, or we'll have the series 1-1. GG. We're going to the ace match. We're going all the way to the ace match, and yeah, again, it was a bold build out of ByuN, and I liked it overall. Unfortunately, it got scattered, right? Like, as soon as the Adept got into the main, I was like, oh, like, we have to shift gears now. Like, we have to try to adjust. And we did. The adjustment wasn't all in. that was the adjustment. Unfortunately for ByuN, there was an Observer, right? The Observer was right outside the natural, so MaxPax saw everything. He saw the boys being pulled, and as soon as he saw that, we had 2 extra shield batteries. 2 extra shield batteries were made at the third base. Immortal production, of course, was prioritized, was being chronoed as well, and MaxPax, he had precious extra seconds where he could adapt, he could respond to what was going on. And with that, GG, we're going all the way to Game 3. Here we go. As we are going to be settling in. Also, the best cast is cast. Ah, gracias, papi, gracias. Much love, Go Puncher, much love. We are settling in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta. We have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Being forced into the ace match, can he bring it back? And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. Fighting back in that last game, forcing a tied-up series. Can he take it? Can he go all the way? It is MaxPax. The Storm Gaming. Here we go. Now, so far in this series, ByuN has been the aggressor. ByuN has been the aggressor here. For the most part, I mean, even in Game 1, ByuN was initially moving out, was able to deny the third base and take an economic lead. That is true. I mean, the game settled from there, and Game 1 was more of a back and forth, but ByuN initiated kind of the aggression at least. Likewise, Game 2 was an all-in. What do you have in store for us here in Game 3? What do you got, Bobby? What do you got? Go. And so now the probe is again poking and prodding, being a nuisance, tasing away at those SCVs. Oh, does get 1, does get 2 of them low. far, ByuN doing well, keeping his workers alive. MaxPax on the hunt. Doesn't threaten the mineral line this time. Not yet, and ByuN is going for a single gas opener for the first time this series. Oh, I say that. I guess technically it was a single gas opener last game as well, but we're going for a faster command center for a more economic start. This time there's no crazy eBay block, there's no early game shenanigans, just a much more standard, safe, economic opener out of ByuN, going for the CC on the high ground, not taking a risk on the low ground. Not taking that risk. Meanwhile, MaxPax going for the proxy. I was about to say that it's not uncommon to, if ByuN had gone for the CC on the low ground, to respond with a proxy gateway. I imagine that's where we're headed here. Some pylon has been thrown down, and MaxPax is soon to be active on the map. We go. Behind this, oh my god, that is a third CC! It's been a while. It looks like it's going to be a 3cc, 3 racks out of ByuN. This was also a very trendy build around... We saw this rise in popularity around the era of I Am Katowice earlier this year. But ByuN and Maru were in love with this opener. They were in love with this build for a couple of months. Then it died off. I want to say it died off like around maybe April, May-ish is when we saw this kind of peter out a little bit. But yeah, interesting to see it once again. So 3cc, 3 racks here out of ByuN. A little bit out of meta nowadays, but cool to see it back. After like a couple of months. We do chip away, Reaper comes back, we do try to collapse on the Adept, and what have we seen so far? Not too much. We've seen Marines, yes, but that is not enough of a tell. So the way this works is that ByuN is going for a really greedy economic start, and it's going to lead into a stim timing. This is not an all-in like we saw previously. Interesting, going for a concussive shell first. Meanwhile, the proxy is done. Proxy gateway has completed, MaxPax will be reinforcing immediately. Uh-oh, and we won't have a Cyclone to defend. Again, because of the 1-1-1, ByuN is vulnerable. You catch an Adept. One Adept goes down. Bunkers are on the way, so crucial here to rely on bunkers to defend, to hold. As there's no tanks, there's no Cyclones, no real backbone to the army until now. Now we have the Marauder. As soon as we see the Marauder, that's a tell. Now we are aware. Boys are being pulled. So far, ByuN is barely holding on. It's going to cost him a lot of mining time here, a lot of SCVs. Their workers are going down. Nice target firing on the Marauder. Oh, that's going to be 3 worker kills, though. Yeah, some brutal losses for ByuN, but he does hold. Again, like this aggressive opener here by MaxPax had a lot of potential for success, and honestly, it's been pretty good so far. Looking at the units lost tab here, 4 SCVs, 5 Marines, lost mining time, delayed expansion. But what's important, even though we've gotten some worker kills and even though we've gotten some economic damage done, 3rd CC, right? It's like we still have a 3rd CC here for triple mules and triple SCV production. ByuN can still make up for that and then some. Like that's what's important here about the build. Is going to be ByuN's economy. Behind this, MaxPax expanding, taking a 3rd. Does take a 3rd base, settling into his own 3-gate blink opener. Forge for upgrades, Stalkers are still being active. The goal here for MaxPax is to delay the 3rd base. Just to contain and delay for as long as we can. Even pick away at the SCVs. One SCV goes down. Not bad. We catch a worker. Stim is on the way alongside combat shields. Getting into our 1-1 follow-up. Into our factory and starport. Until then, MaxPax still poking in. Gets, oh, another SCV. 2 SCVs so far, not bad. Marines as well. Yeah, ByuN bleeding out more Marines. You could argue acceptable losses, but again, it's that much more important that MaxPax is getting these trades as the bunker does go down. And the bunker falls, this location now that much more vulnerable. But ByuN has now completed stim. So MaxPax can't really blink on top of this army. He has to be careful. And there's the first stim. MaxPax does blink away, leading out 2 Stalkers. Ooh, leading out 3, 4, oh my god! ByuN Stimming once again. Oh, these are brutal trades for ByuN. Again, his army is so low, but he does catch even more stalkers. Yeah, nice blinks here from MaxPax. Does get away. And looking at the trades, it was 8 stalkers going down for 4 marauders and 20 marines. Most of those marines went down over the course of the game so far, but actually, yeah, we don't have Observer Plus. But not a bad catch there by ByuN, as long as we can maintain our army. Medivacs have arrived. We scan the Observer. Nice snipe there from MaxPax. Gets a Marauder. Marauder goes down. Prism is out. Ready to dive into the main. Charge almost done. ByuN out of position for a moment. Oh, the hot pickup. Oh my god. ByuN avoiding the shots. Very slick moves. Does avoid the stalker shots. MaxPax reinforcing with mainly a gateway-based army. Colossus production soon to be on the horizon. I believe the bay is now done. Here we go. We have a drop into the main base with the main army towards the third. And can we pull ByuN apart as ByuN is out of position? He's not ready. Yeah, he's not ready in the main base. Zealots are dropped in. Reinforcements will respond. Nice hold position micro here from the SCVs. Yeah, ByuN. He's ready for the army, at least at the third. And with these reinforcements, he will clean up the main base. Solid defense here out of ByuN. At the same time, SCVs. Ooh, going down in the natural. Not bad. Ooh, it's going to cost us the Immortal, but that's going to be 10 workers going down. ByuN not quite ready for this. Being pulled apart left and right. Zelts in the main, Zelts in the natural. And ByuN is still leaving his army here at the third base, expecting another push. But MaxPax is just back home. He just backs off. MaxPax does retreat, and that is 18 SCVs going down, an insane amount of damage. ByuN, he is able to maintain himself, and his worker count isn't too low, but it should be ahead, right? Like, especially with the build of choice from ByuN, he should have had a worker lead. And from here, he could have been working towards a fourth. So, brutal moment for ByuN. He moves out, takes down the gateway. That tells MaxPax where the army is. And we can come in for a Zealot run by. ByuN, he has to respond. SCVs are going down. ByuN out of position. And ByuN is just getting pulled apart. We'll clean this up, but that's another 6 SCVs going down. And this run by was already worth it. And because we're on side Delta, counterattacks, they take so much longer to move out. And we're going for a longer game. We're going for a 4th CC. ByuN has some recovering to do. He does have some catching up to do here. As MaxPax is on 4 bases, now taking a 5th Nexus. Oh my god. Is taking a 5th base. And we're even looking for a cancel. It looks like we can get it. Oh my god, so close. Yeah, throwing down the Ghost Academy. Engage with the army. Does catch us some Zealots. Bit of an overextension here out of MaxPax. MaxPax does get caught out. Bleeding off some gateway units. At least he does preserve his Colossus. Zealot run by coming back in. This time ByuN is ready. More or less. And this time ByuN will shut it down. So a nice moment here for ByuN. Again, kind of his first step here on the road to recovery. Not bad. Called out some Zealots, called out the main army, working towards Ghosts, 4 CC about to finish. But again, we are embracing a longer game, and MaxPax is hitting his final form. We're getting into our 4th Colossus and Disruptor production. So this main army is looking quite terrifying. Especially with the addition of the Disruptors. We have a Dark Shrine on the way to help reinforce, to help harass even. +3 on the horizon as well. MaxPax on top of his upgrades. Oof, and ByuN, he gets caught out. Medevac goes down. MaxPax is maxed out. And we're pushing in. We have Zealots towards the north. The main army right through the center. ByuN needs time up. We had a decent split, but Marauders go down. Yeah, the split was not good enough. The Vikings are doing what they can. Alas, Stalkers will shut them down. Yeah, big snipes on the Vikings. And the Colossus, they reign free. GG gets called. ByuN too far behind. And MaxPax will take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a rough start there for ByuN. He bled out too many workers. Remember, it was what? 18 SCV kills? It was something crazy like that. 18 workers went down initially to the Zealot drop and Zealot harass in the natural and in the main. And that did set MaxPax up for success. He was ahead from that moment. And we said at the time, ByuN, again, he had some recovering to do and he needed more time. ByuN needed more time there. He was kind of, again, playing from behind. It was playing catch up and could not quite recover. MaxPax from there was able to just build up, max out, move out before ByuN could stand back up, before he could stabilize. MaxPax was there to shut him down. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax will advance on. And the question is, are there any non-Protosses left? Oh, that's the question. Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves.